Hey everyone, Fatty from Pack a Punch Traders. Gonna go over my trade of the day as well as the top plays for tomorrow. So let's just get right into it. Coming into the morning, my main plays of the day were not gonna be it. No volume behind them at all. That one in SQL here. Just looking for multi-day bounces on these plays. So saw those were gonna be happening and put my attention on top percent gainers in the morning. Looking for anything to fail to break down, reclaim key prices, open price, VWAP, and start squeezing shorts. So had my attention on a few plays and EXI. This one made a quick move early, but was thinking if this fails to break down, we can start reclaiming open price and VWAP, and that can lead to a test at least back to day high, if not push past that and get us to next resistance area. We go on the daily chart here. Next resistance after that day high isn't really until 1, so in my eyes had some range, but as you can see, no follow through. Volume just died off and it wasn't able to do anything. So that one ended up taking off watch pretty quickly. There was SRNE as well. I didn't take this one. Not sure why. I hesitated and it just went without me. So this one, little bit of a gap up, failed to break down at the open, and from there was just thinking of getting into a higher low for a possible push of test resistance around 27 cents, which we can see here from the other day. So unfortunately, I missed that play, but there were still a couple other ones. Uh, there was INZY. This one had some action early on. I was looking at this here for a possible reclaim, but demand never really seemed that great. It was kind of a choppy play here. I really liked how it failed to break down, held right around a whole dollar, half dollar level. But as it was climbing back here, it just seemed, if we just look at the volume, I don't know, it just seemed kind of choppy to me. And at that point, I didn't want to be buying it into a top. It kind of got exhausted here all at once from very light volume as it was holding, and then it burst through. Didn't want to chase, of course, and that kept me safe. Ended up failing, so not much there. If you just read the volume, had some strong volume at first in the morning, not able to sustain, weaken, but was still able to hold up. But demand was never really able to come back and sustain itself, keep pushing minute over minute to give us a nice solid squeeze. So ended up giving us this little quick fake out at open price and ended up failing. So ended up going with BOXD. Saw this one, failed to break down. I thought I missed this play early on as an open price VWAP reclaim. Just burst through and got to close to 65. And I really liked how it was failing to break down. And that's why I alerted. If we go here, just want to show this. It was timestamped right before I went in. Midday, I'm liking BOXD. It continues to hold up the key prices, open price, and VWAP. And just wanted to see demand really pick up to show that there is some strength behind it. And if it continued to make higher lows with the perk in demand, that would be pretty bullish in my eyes. Looking for the next resistance level to squeeze to 70 cents to 73 cents. And what I'm talking here is we got this solid push and solid selling coming through. And let's keep in mind as well, this was moving after hours and a bit here pre-market. So anybody who was betting against this, let's go against this daily chart, had some overhead resistance as well. So around the mid 60s here. So I was thinking people would be shorting into this play, but it kept failing to break down. Held 55 and from there kept making higher lows, and volume completely died and it was still able to hold up. And from there, it seemed like it filtered through everyone that traded it, and then it made its decision, failed to break down. Dip buyers came back, as well as shorts started logging in profits, I assume, or if they let it get back up to here, um, getting squeezed out for a loss. Depending where they're in here, it might be break even. But the way I just saw it was shorts were trapped. It's failing to break down, continuing to hold open price right around VWAP. If we can just show some indication that it's failing to break down, giving us some higher lows with demand slowly coming back, we might be able to get that squeeze. And I got it a little late, not that late, but could have been sizing in slowly into this, but I got it right away at 62.83 as it made another higher low, and I saw demand perk again after. We would have these small little perks, nothing too significant on the demand side, but each time it would hold up, no selling would come through, and then it would push again, and we would have a bit more volume demand come through. And what would happen? It would try to dip, and it would just hold up, make a higher low, very light selling pressure. So in my eyes, this higher low here with a volume coming back might lead to that day high to the squeeze at resistance. Here is what I'm talking about, around 73 cents, 74 cents in this range. So ended up working out perfectly. Got it 62.83, sold it as it was chopping around here, 7.7096. Just followed my plan, executed it perfectly. Maybe could have had more size, but not bad at all. Didn't want to chase much and ruin my risk reward. Had 3,000 shares in this, so solid day. Just a quick one and done, and that was it. It met my goals. Didn't try to stick around and see if it can keep pushing higher. Wasn't that greedy. Just executed it how I saw it as I mapped out here. So pretty happy with that, the way it worked out. And I took the rest of the day off from there, just trying to show, take your quick singles, move on. This play got very choppy here, still kind of holding up. We can end up using this resistance area, turn it into support, and then from there, base another move going to 90 cents, a dollar. So we'll see how high this can go. Definitely need to see volume sustain itself and keep pushing. So I didn't want to stick around and see if that would turn into support. I thought, let's just sell while we're up. It did everything we wanted. If it ends up shaping up for another setup, we'll attack it again. But I decided to just walk away. Had to get a new phone. That was tweaking out the other day or yesterday. So did that instead. And not really much to say. Pretty solid day. Read charts pretty well. Good call with SRNE. Other plays just didn't shape up the way I wanted. Good lesson again on the importance of demand. And here, just recognizing the failure to break down, shorts being trapped. It is getting into a resistance area in the mid 60s, and it kept holding up. So, good day. Didn't expect it. A solid midday squeeze. Usually midday a bit quieter. But yeah, just saw the opportunity, set up decently, small size, just under $2,000. I think it was about 1,800 that I put in, and came out on top. So nice to recognize it, call it, tweet it, and play it. So that's that. Now let's get on to the top plays for tomorrow. I got IVDA here, looking for a possible multi-day bounce. This has recently been grinding higher for the past couple weeks and now pushing lower. So gotta look for that momentum shift when it starts bottoming out, failing to push lower, and see where shorts can start locking in their profits. So IVDA, possible play, SRNE, gonna keep this on watch for a possible continuation. If 27 can't hold this down, that might trigger a whole other squeeze higher. So let's see next resistance area on this. We got, so from around 27, could have some trouble around the mid 30s, for sure around 40. So some decent range. So definitely going to wait for it to confirm 27 is support, and wait to see how it tests the mid 30s. By that point, I honestly might be out. That's about 20%. I'll be maybe cutting it for 15% or so, but it has some range, bottoming out, could give a nice continuation on this reversal. Then we got BOXD. Again, if this turns the support or the resistance area in the 70s into support, could be a nice solid breakout, and to test next resistance in about 90 cents. We'll see if they can round up and get to $1, but solid range here from 110 to 90 cents. So we'll see how it acts at that area, if it can get back to that region. So BXD could be a breakout. TMDI, recent push. Oh, this was the play I was thinking of when I was looking at, what do you call it? Jesus Christ, already forgot it. BOXD. No, not BOXD. SRNE. Excuse me. Got that solid push lower, and now looking for that bounce. Similar play, and this one had an incredible push, just about 150%, and now way off the highs. Solid, decent red. Mumbling over here. Decent red day. And we'll be looking for that momentum shift, as we always talk about with the multi-day bounce. Let it prove to you that it's failing to break down. Give it some time to consolidate, a few minutes, and then look for that high day break to be the trigger of the momentum shift. Shorts locking in profits, dip buyers coming in, and 30, as we usually say, according to our data, 30% from previous close is the average spike. And one thing I do sometimes forget to mention when going over this play, if the play just goes parabolic pre-market or after hours, usually done. This is not what I'm talking about. This is just a nice little perk showing some bottoming action. But I'm talking about the fuel to the play when it just takes off in a few minutes. Might kill the move. So stay away from that. Play it safe, as we're really looking for shorts who are locking in their profits to be the fuel to the play. And when they're out, who knows where that juice for the play is going to come from. Sometimes they can't continue. They hold and they push even higher. We saw VLON yesterday gap up decently and fail to break down and pushed even higher. It happens, but I usually like to err on the side of caution. Lastly, TNON. Here we got a solid push from yesterday. If this fails, I don't care. We'll play it as a multi-day bounce. But we got a recent runner holding up pretty well. Low float, heading into a Friday. Got a 3-day weekend. If shorts can't break this down, I think they get squeezed out. Buyers come back, and we can get a nice push to the 3 region. Who knows, maybe even higher. But just going to play the chart right now, seeing 250, solid resistance. We'll play it around that price for a possible entry for a test of 3. Whereas we can see the low 3s have some resistance as well. Then mid 3s. After that, mid 4s. So it could have some range. If it confirms the low 3s, it could definitely get pushing. But right now, let's take it a step at a time. Look for the multi-day break over 2.5 to test 3. And the thinking really is just, besides it being a multi-day breakout, I'm also thinking this can be something good for tomorrow, with the thinking that we're heading into a 3-day weekend and it hasn't totally broken down. So any shorts in this will likely be getting out and wanting to start fresh next week and not holding on to something kind of sketchy like this with a low float that it's got. we've seen how this can move very quickly. So could be something. Hopefully it shapes up. But for now, gonna just wait and see if it can confirm the mid twos and get some demand back. That's gonna be the fuel to the play. So hope everyone had a great day. Hope if you saw my alerts earlier today, SRNE, BOXD, pretty good ones. I know INZY and NEXI didn't work out. But hey, not gonna nail them all. Just recognizing, using what we always talk about, reading volume. We can read that, as we talked about, NZ just wasn't it. Had a quick perk back, never really confirmed open price, so that never shaped up. As well as Nexi, volume just completely died and was never able to reclaim key prices and possibly squeeze shorts out. So it is what it is. Still a couple decent calls, one good trade.